Hello everyone and welcome back to Career Q, a place to curate your career. So very often, a lot of the freshers have this confusion that whether they should join in a development project or a support project and which one is better, which one has a brighter future, and a lot more of these queries. So in today's video, we will be discussing and getting to know more about what a development project is and what a support project is. Also, if you are a fresher, whether you should be going to a support project or whether you should stay back and you should always opt for development projects, and a lot more will be discussed. So do watch this video to the end because we will seek an answer to all of these questions, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Let's get started. Firstly, let's understand the difference between the support role and the development role. That is the difference between a support engineer and a developer. Okay, so a support engineer is a person who takes the requirements from the client and communicates it to the developers or the people in charge who will be building the project or the application or whatever. So the major job of a support engineer is to understand all of the technicalities and all the requirements that are there, and then go back to the developer and explain the same technicalities and requirements, and then also revert back. Okay, so say for example, the engineer has conveyed all the requirements to the developer, and the developer is now telling him that okay, this thing can be done by doing this, and this thing can be done by doing this, but this particular thing cannot be done unless and until we use this particular feature, something like that. They say. Now the support engineer comes back to the client, citing all the different possibilities that the developer has just informed him, and he conveys this to the client, and then the client takes again some time to think and rethink, and then they convey whatever they feel that needs to be done. Okay, so if you see what a support engineer here is doing, he actually knows all the whereabouts of the project. Okay, he knows what is to be done, then he also knows what needs to be implemented for this particular requirement to be fulfilled. Also, he knows the particular challenges that are there. He also knows what things cannot be done, and if that particular thing needs to be done under any cause, then what extra should be done. He has communicated it back as well, and now everyone is waiting for the response. So a support engineer knows all the whereabouts. Okay, everything that is to happen or that is happening in a project. Okay, but he is not the one building it. He is not the one who will be sitting down and writing the codes for this. Okay, so although he knows each and everything, all the whereabouts, but he does not know what will be the exact lines of code, what is the syntax, what is the the exception handling, and a lot of things come when you are building a project. So all of those kind of things, the technicalities, the language issues, the syntax, the lines which why this line is given, why that line is not given, those basic things or the key points or the technical knowledge of a support engineer is limited. Okay, now as a developer knows what he is writing. Okay, so he knows what variable was used, he knows what needs to be done, he has written it, he knows that by writing it now he has checked the output maybe, or he has done some dry runs maybe, and he has checked if it is giving the required output or not, and what issue is there, what he needs to change for something to work, what is not working. So these kind of things, the inside out of the project, everything is something that the developer knows. Again, the support role is further subdivided into three parts, that is L1, L2 and L3. Now we as an IT engineer have been hearing these a lot of times without actually knowing the meaning of this. So let me here clarify what this means. So L1 or the level 1 is the primary or the very first level of support engineers. When you are calling someone for customer care, or some engineers, when you're calling for your issues and you hear that people are answering your call and they are saying, yes, how may I help you today? So these kind of people who are not technically that sound till now, they are the ones who are put into L1, and this is the role that an L1 support engineer plays. Okay, after he has dealt with a lot of queries and now he knows all of those, there is one exam that different organizations have, and then you are promoted to L2. Okay, now an L2 is a support engineer having a lot more technical knowledge. Okay, the insides of the project, as I said, that this, what needs to be done, what is there, he will be interacting with the client, and he will be understanding, and he will be technically sound. Okay, so that is what an L2 engineer does. And then there comes the final, that is the L3 support engineer. Now the L3 support engineer is the senior most, who is, you know, technically very sound and highly experienced, and he knows that you know, all he cannot do is not write it down, but as soon as he hears the requirement, he knows that okay, this thing happened then, and that in that project we implemented this. So you know, he doesn't even need to go to the developer. He himself knows what the solution can be, and at that time he can also go back to the developer and say that, you know, the client needs this to be done, and for that we can use this. So that is how technically sound an L3 level support engineer can become. Okay, so these are the 3 levels in which the support role gets divided. Now the very important question here is that whether you as a fresher should be undertaking a support job or a support role. Is it good for your career, or you should only be running behind the development roles? Okay, so this completely depends on the individual's choice, because you know, if at any point you want to become a developer, you want yourself to become a software developer, you want to develop, you want to write, you like coding and you want to write codes, then support job is not for you, because you will not get a chance to you know, go and write the code. Okay, but if you're someone who, you know, likes designing, or you know, who likes to know about stuff, but you know, you don't need to or want to sit back doing the, you know, back-end job of writing the code and everything, then, and you are, you know, you think that okay, you know, sitting down and, you know, every day new syntax gets logged and new updates are coming, and you're not someone who want to, you know, always take on those things, and you don't like coding that much, you're not sound in coding, then you can sit for a support role. It's not bad. The one challenge that support engineers face is that, you know, the client's requirement is not necessarily be coming in the morning hours or during your shift hours. Okay, the clients are generally people around the world, across the globe, and you know, at any odd hour they might send you an email and you might need to reply. So a support person has, you know, support needs to be there 24/7. You know that, because we all use the support thing. Okay, day in day out, somewhere or the other we use these support people. So the job hours may get extended. Of course there will be shifts, you know, they cannot expect, no one expects you to work 24/7, but your shifts can be, you can have rotating shifts. What I mean to say is you can have rotating shifts. It can be morning for some days, it can be evening for some days, you know, dependent on the client, their timings and stuffs like that. But whereas as a developer you will be working, you know, the 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, the time which you work, you will be working, and then you'll be informing the support person that just to update, this is what the progress is, and then they can leave. So that is how a different support engineer and a developer's daily job looks like. Now say for example, if you are a person who has already been put to a support project and you are not liking it and you want to make a shift. Okay, so what is something that you can do? So here is one thing. You already know what is going on in the project, correct? You know that for this requirement this thing was done, and you know the inside out. You can of course, if you're in L1 then you might not be knowing also, so in that case you can you know, make friendship and you can try understanding, or you can also give the exam and pass and become an L2 engineer as soon as possible. Anything, I am just saying that, you know, you already know what is being done. What you don't know is how it is being done. You know, what is the code lines or code snippets, what is the syntax, you know, how this thing is done. What is being done, you know. Why is being done, you know. You don't know how it's being done. So that you can learn on the back end from, you know, there are a lot of sources of learning. So you can check some YouTube videos, you can go and register yourself, and the very common thing, you can you know, befriend the developers and you can sit with them and try to get hold of what the code is, you know, understand what this line does, what this line does, and you know, with a little bit of more effort you can definitely make a switch from the support role to a developer role. It will definitely not be easy, but if you want it, it's not you know, something that's unheard of. You can always do it. Okay, so that's all that I had in today's video. I hope I have been able to clear all your doubts, and if you have any more queries you can drop a comment below, and if you have not yet subscribed, do subscribe to the channel. Put a like if you liked today's video. That was Career Q. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.